Here's a question for the men who are watching. Suppose you're walking down the street and you see a beautiful woman. What do you do? Some of you are thinking, well, I'd ask for her number or try out my awesome new pickup line. Yo, baby, how you like your eggs in the morning, scrambled or fertilized? But what if you're already married? What do you do then? Do you still ask for her number or use a lame pickup line? All right, here I am. What are your other two wishes? If so, then you're a total dirtbag, unless you believe in the Quran, which allows men to have up to 4 wives. In that case, you could already be married and still approach a woman as a second or third or fourth wife. So you could ask her for her number or try out an Islamic pickup line. Are you sure you're not the prophet? Because you robbed my heart. Yo, girl, you want to share my prayer rug? Girl, I know you're a Muslim because your body is slamming. Are you sure you're not the shaitan? Because you fell from Jannah. Yo, girl, I know I'm only allowed to marry 4, but you're a 10. I like your burqa. I'm wondering if I could talk you out of it. Girl, I need to break my fast. Can I have a date? Are you sure you're not the black stone? Because I just want to give you a big, slobbery kiss. But suppose you're a Muslim and you've already massively exceeded the 4-wife limit. Suppose you already have 9 or 11 wives, not to mention multiple sex slaves. You're walking down the street and you see a beautiful woman. What do you do? Fortunately for us, the Prophet of Islam has the answer. He always does, doesn't he? Sahih Muslim 3407. It was narrated from Jabir that the Messenger of Allah saw a woman. Then he came to his wife Zaynab, who was tanning a leather, and fulfilled his desire. Then he went out to his companions and said, "A woman comes in the form of a devil and goes in the form of a devil. If one of you sees a woman, let him go to his wife, for that will repel what he feels in his heart." Now, what does Muhammad mean when he says that having sex with his wife will repel what he feels in his heart? I think it's obvious, but he elaborates in Sahih Muslim 3409. Jabir said, "I heard the Prophet say, if one of you likes a woman and feels attracted to her, let him go to his wife and have intercourse with her, for that will repel what is in his heart." So Muhammad saw a woman and he was attracted to her sexually. So he went to Zaynab's house. She was busy working, but Muhammad made her stop what she was doing so that he could have sex with her. Then he went and told his followers that a woman comes in the form of a devil and goes in the form of a devil, and that if a man sees a woman and is attracted to her, he should run home and have sex with his wife because that will help alleviate his sexual desire. All right, there's a lot to think about here. Let me share my thoughts. First, take a look at the chapter heading for these hadiths. Recommendation to the one who sees a woman and is attracted to her to go to his wife or slave woman and have intercourse with her. Again, this is about Muhammad, history's greatest moral example, being sexually aroused by a woman and then running to Zaynab to, quote, fulfill his desire. Notice that a man can run home either to his wife or to his slave girl. Yes, Islam allows men to have sex slaves. But David, I thought that Islam abolished slavery. Well, Islam did abolish slavery in one particular area, Fantasyland. Here on Planet Reality, Muhammad and his followers bought, owned, sold, and traded slaves, and they had sex with them. Second, how much self-control and willpower did the Prophet of Islam have if he couldn't see a woman walking down the street without running back to Zaynab's house and saying, "Stop what you're doing! There's an emergency! In my s.a.w. I need you to get into the bedroom because I can't stop thinking about this sexy woman I just saw. To be fair, I think that if you don't have much self-control or willpower and you become sexually aroused while running some errands, you should go to your wife instead of sitting around obsessing over the woman you saw. But think about this. How many women do you walk by every day? Probably a lot. Do you have to run home every time you see a woman? And keep in mind, Muhammad saw a woman in 7th century Medina. She would have been dressed pretty conservatively, but Muhammad still couldn't control himself. This means, of course, that you and I and pretty much everyone we know have far more self-control, sexual self-control, than the greatest man who ever lived.